Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Jo, I'm Belushi Stitches here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. This is my channel about cross stitch. If you're new here, then thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you find something here that you like. If you're returning, then thank you very much for coming back. It's been over a year since my last time in front of the camera, I think, so I'm probably going to be very rusty, just to warn you. I've also been putting out since that time still some videos on my channel relating to chatelaine design stitching, so one of which you'll see today. Thank you to everyone who's been watching those in the meantime. For those of you who haven't seen what I've been stitching on previously for chatelaine, so Evening in the Park and then now I'm working on Versailles, there are some playlists available on my channel, so feel free to go and check those out if that interests you. Today is an end of 2025 WIP parade. I have 57 WIPs, so I'm going to try and speed through them as much as possible. You can just about see these boxes here. I've got 4 of these. I've also taken out a few projects to work on in the next week while I edit this monstrosity, so I hopefully will be able to slot them in, and so by the time this actually goes out and you're seeing this, you should actually have the full view of what I've got and where I am with everything. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this WIP parade. You'll know by now how long it is, because I don't know how long this is going to take. Thank you very much for joining me, and let's go. Okay, I'm hoping to do these chronologically, so this is now my oldest WIP. This is 3 Spheres 2 by Escher. It will look like this, and the design is by Heaven and Earth Designs. There are 13 colours in this one. It's about 87,000 stitches in total. I've done around 13,000, so I'm at 15%. And I haven't just calculated that in my head, I have notes in front of me. So this is stitched on 18 count Aida. This is where I am so far. There's a lot to go. So this is my oldest WIP at the moment. It's on 18 count, as I said. I'm just going to bring you in because I think because the kind of reduced colours in this one, it's quite pixelated. I think more so because it's on 18 count. I don't think you'd notice it quite as much on a smaller count. So I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. I don't know why I'm saying I think. I know exactly why I stopped. Can you see? This is sparkly. This is Krynic, and I think the next part of the design in this circle here was something like 3,000 stitches of Krynic, and I just stopped. One of the things I'm a bit concerned about is how much detail I will or won't get towards the end. So if I just hold up this first sort of sphere, I think there's a couple of things. In general, I'm trying to see over the top, I think in comparison it's very green as opposed to grey. And so it doesn't really represent this. My main concern is this main sphere when I get to it and the level of detail that you'll see. I don't think, it's just about focusing. In this main first ball that I've done, can you see the ceiling rose reflected in the ball? You can't see that in the bit that I've stitched. I know I'm not showing you properly. So I'm not entirely sure I'm going to continue with this one, or that's not to say I'm going to UFO it. I think it'll just stay one of those pieces that I've started at some point. I love the design, I love this. I'm actually considering just getting a print of this because I do want to see it, but I think this is going to take me a really long time, and at the moment I think I would choose to stitch other things over this one. So try not to make this a negative start, but there's a couple here that you'll see that start off a bit like this. It gets better, but yes, at the moment that's where I am. 15% and a million Krynics to stitch next. Next up is 12 Days of Stitchmas by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Sorry, you can see my light there. Just bring this one in. It's very cute. It's the song in baubles with a bit of fill in between so you can get the tree. This comes on a board with the threads attached because I bought the kit, and this is where I am so far. I've done loads. In total this is 6,000 stitches, not this, the piece. So yeah, still quite a lot to go. So it's going to take a while. Again, not one I've kind of favoured, but it's a really cute Christmas It's a really cute Christmas stitch. Next up is Victorian Charm. This is so amazing. I just love this one so much. It's by Dimensions. It comes on some navy Ada. So for example, not all of it is stitched. So you can see the bit there between the green and the blue. I don't think that that's stitched. And then some of this sky is kind of half stitched, just to give the effect. There's a crazy amount of back stitch in this pattern, and I just absolutely love it. So it comes with 18 count Ada, and so far I have stitched this. I think it's that way around. The blue is on top of the brown. Is that right? Yeah. This could be upside down. It could be that way. No, that can't be right. It must be this. It must be this way around. Yeah. So I've started it and haven't got too far. Again, it's one I love the finished design. Just aware of how much it will take to get to that point. I think if I had more progress on it, I'd probably be more motivated to get it out more. So a bit of a catch-22 there. But yeah, Victorian Charm, beautiful. So we're currently in 2021 starts. The only one I've got from 2020 is the 3 Spheres 2 by Escher. Everything else at the moment is 2021 start. And the next one is Lucky Nutcracker by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It'll look like this. It's really sweet. So this is one that every time I go to a retreat, I'm always a bit worried I might not be able to see properly if the light's not brilliant where I'm sat. So I always think, oh, I'll take an 18 count piece on white fabric that I know I can stitch in hand. And I think twice or 3 times I've taken this and I've done a bit, but for some reason, it doesn't matter how much I stitch on it, it seems like I don't stitch on it. So I think we started off with the tree, which seemed to go on for about 17 years. And then I've moved on to the Nutcracker since then, and a tiny bit of Folly. And yeah, I don't know why, but it just seems to take forever to stitch. So yeah, not much on this one as yet, working on it. Okay, next up is Spooky Halloween. This is by Durene Jones, and it was via Lakeside Needlecraft. Very cute. It's I was inspired to do this one because Lakeside did a sale for, what was it, Halloween candlesticks, and it was possibly one of my favourite things I've ever stitched. It was amazing. And then they had this one separately, so I thought I would go for this one as well. Change the year perhaps, but yeah, this is a really cute one. It has 4 colours, so black and white, and then a lime green and a kind of fluorescent yellow. They're really, really cute. It's a Lakeside fabric called Pumpkin. What count is it? 36 count, 2/2, and so far I am here. It's very cute. It's so I'm not enjoying it as much as Halloween candlesticks, so I think that's why I sort of did a bit and then gave it a bit of a rest, but it is cool. It's really nice to stitch, really easy to stitch, and it's a great design. I love the fabric as well. It's going to be great when it's done. Next up is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Mathews. This one. Very cute. And I'm stitching this one on 40 count in hand, I think with the called for colours. This one I started on Christmas Eve 2021. And oh, this is the one. Yeah, okay. So this is what I've done so far. Big old piece of fabric. 40 count. Whoa, where are we? There you go. You can see a bit of the variegation. And this is one where I can't really remember exactly, but I had not stitched the stalk. I had not stitched it, and then I picked it up again and it was stitched. And I did not stitch it. I didn't do it. It's very, very weird. I mean, I must have done, but I didn't do it. For Quaker pumpkins, I'm currently at 17%, so quite a good chunk. Next up is Magwayen. This was my last start of 2021. I started this on the 29th of December 2021, and this was part of a Teresa Made Me Do It sale. So Teresa Little Stitcher is on Flosstube. If you haven't watched her channel, Teresa does live videos on YouTube where lots of people, including myself, sit and stitch and watch and chat to everybody in the live chat on the screen, and it's really fun. And this was a something that everyone was going to stitch, or at least people were going to start something together, and I started it. It's called Magwayen by Filipina. She is very pretty. There are beads and metallic threads. I don't think there's any specialty stitches. No, so I think I've got the embellishment pack as well, and then I think I kitted up everything else with the DMC myself. This is where I am. So I started right in the middle by that kind of red blob. That's her, around her belt. So I started in the middle and I've just sort of worked around it. The pink and purple bit down the side is, I think, a sash. And then this kind of bit at the bottom that's sticking out is part of the sail for the boat. So I often stitch this one in November, which is Nautical November, a stitch along that myself and Emma from Emma X Stitching run every year. So in November we stitch something nautical related. This is a good one because it's got a boat. What I'm doing, I'll just bring it in a little bit as well. I've got some metallic threads there, you can see. I give it a bit of a turn, you can see them sparkling. And then these long gaps here, I believe there's some beads to go in there eventually. So yeah, doing bits and pieces as I can. So we're now into 2022, and my first start was Mugshot Cat. It's not called Mugshot Cat, it's called Mugshot of a Cat Felon Arrested While Attempting a New York Bank Heist. It's by Tanya Bond, and the kit is by Gecko Rouge, and it's this one. It really does look like my cat Ripley, so I will pop in a picture here of when I was deciding what cat to buy and her not quite happy face watching me look at another cat. This is where I am so far. This is on 18 count Ada. Looks a bit weird. I started in the middle because I don't know why, can't remember, didn't want to wait, and then realised immediately I don't like starting in the middle, so I worked my way up the cat's ear to the corner, and only in October this year, 2025, have I actually stitched mainly all of this. So I'd really only got this bit and a little bit in the corner since 2022. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the 18 count Ada. I go through stages of liking it and not liking it, and normally that's my kind of old school favourite, but I don't know what it was about this one. I just didn't like the feel of it, I think. So I ummed and ahed multiple times about whether I should restart it on something like 25 count, and then when Kelly from Animal Stitches and Animal Instinct here on YouTube came to stay earlier on this year, we kind of were talking about it, and I said if I stitch on it, if I give it 1 or 2 days and just stitch on this bit, see how far I get, by the end of that I should know if I enjoy it or not. And I think I love it and I want to stitch on it, and I will finish it because it looks like Ripley, but there's something about it that's driving me nuts. But I absolutely love it. I love the needle minder as well. Look, here you go. Cute. Cute. Next up is the Dark Queen of the Sea Sal by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I saw it stitched, I think the first person I saw stitching it was Morgan from What's Morgan Stitching, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Emma and I do stitch-alongs throughout the year, and we have individual months. May is Mermania for us, so we stitch something mermaid related. So even though she's not a mermaid, I, in my head, think of her as being part of the Mermaid clan that I stitch it in May, so that's why I said that. Anyway, here we go, and ignore the hoop mark, it's been in there for a while, but it'll come out. So this is where I am. She is pretty. I've done her face and all the back stitch on her face, and I'm now working through her hair. There's kind of bits chipped out of it because then the next part will fill that in, but yeah, it starts with the fish, even the shadow on her tail from the fish is amazing. There is an option to do 1/1, I think, on her skin, which I did not choose to do. I think this looks absolutely fine. And then I'll just bring you in on her face. She is so pretty. So, beautiful. Yes, I will get back to her, probably in May. Not a mermaid. So Kelly and I decided to start quite a few kind of spooky projects, I think in the last couple of Octobers. Yeah, not so much this one, but we had a great couple of new starts in October, which I'll show you later. But this was from, so again, 2022. It's by Teresa Kogut, called Silhowitches Quaker, and it will look like this. It's very cute. There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot happening. Yeah, only a couple of colours. You can see the green there, Frankenstein's monster, lots of cats, ghosts. It's really cool. I do love it. This is what it currently looks like. I'm stitching this on 40 count, and this is possibly one of the tightest weaves I've ever stitched on. So the plan was to kind of stitch in hand with some sort of readers, like 1.5 readers, but this is, I'm gonna I have to put it away from my face to be able to see it. It's so tight. This is my start, 125 stitches. Yay! Yeah, that's where I am. I'm going to say this to all of them. I'll get back to it. I love the design. But a slow start for this one. Also to say that we started that one with Angela from Angela Loves to Stitch. I'll pop her details below. She does have a Flosstube. She's gone through quite a hard time in the last year, so I don't think she's quite putting out videos at the moment, but hi Angela. And we all started Silhowitches together, and Angela did a great thing last year, I think it was. She took a couple of her kind of unfinished pieces where she'd only done a quarter of it or a corner of it or a bit, and she kind of cut them up and then stitched them all together and made something from it. And I thought that was a great idea, actually. So if ever I get to a point where I don't want to finish something, I could make it into something else. Next up is Halloween Wreath by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This was a stitch along, so it's Sal, and it was section by section. I think I got this after everything. I can't remember. But this is where I am. I would have put a picture in by now already, but this is where I am with this one. Quite a chunky bow. I've done the house. I should probably unravel this for you, but I'm going to do that instead. This is on, not sure what this is on. It's 2/2. I don't know what count, maybe 28 count. A little bit of backstitch there in the stained glass of the door. It's cute. It is one where I'm not entirely sure I will finish it or even stitch on it again. I'm not cold to this one now, but it's staying. Next up is Halloween Quaker by Lila's Studio, which looks like this. This is quite a popular one. You may well have already seen it around. It's so cool. It's on, I think it's on Murky Fabric by Picture This Plus. Is that true? Don't know. Yes, it is. So I started this one multiple times. I started it on a kind of bluey, pinky, purple fabric. I think I started it on something else. I've gone for 18 count, which again, back then I fancied that and that was my thing, but it's not now. This is my, even back then, this is my start. Oh no, it's tiny. Is it really a, yeah, it is a start. I would, if somebody said, is it really a start, even with that little amount of stitches, I'd say yes. It's a start. It's a start. Unlikely to be a finish on this fabric. I'm not entirely sure what to do with it. Just to say as well, I've seen multiple people finish Halloween Quaker and it looks amazing. So I think there's something about, I want the product of that one, but I don't want to do the process of it. But some of them I enjoy the process, even though I know the product won't come, the finish won't come for many, many years. So I think it's interesting, and I'm trying to work out which ones, why some of those are like that for me. And I'm wondering if some of them is because it's 18 count. Anyway. So now we're hitting 2023. My first start of the year, well, the whips that I have left, my first start of the year was A Year in the Woods. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings, and there were 12 individual patterns, and I bought them via an auto ship with a cross stitch shop here in the UK, and so you'd get a pattern every month. They're quite chunky, so with all good intentions thought I'd spend 1 month doing one pattern, and by the end of the year I'd have the whole thing. Didn't quite work out like that, as you'll see. The plan is to do it on 4. You could do them all in one go, you could pick only a couple of them and do them, but you could stitch them all on the same fabric. The plan was to follow the called for fabrics, which is to have 4 individual strips of colour that kind of match the seasons. And so the first season is winter, which is this one, which I'm going to show you now. I'm not entirely sure what count this is. It could be 36 count. I think this is 2/2. Mirage, this one, yeah. And so the first one of the 12 sits in the middle, which is January. So that sits in the middle of the top band. So by the time you've worked all the way down, December is then the first one back on the top band. So that's why this box is in the middle, and it would have one either side. So this is where I got 2. Lots to do. It's so beautiful. It was a lot of stitching. It was a lot of work, and it pays off because it's so beautiful. So the next one would be a swan here, I think, on this side, and then on this side would be a deer eventually, and then yeah, another 11. So this year I believe they are currently in the middle of putting out new ones to go in here, which I've decided to pretend I haven't seen because 12's enough for me. So I'm going to at one point get these out. It would be great to be able to do one a month, but this was quite, it was around 7,000 stitches, so it took a while to do it. So it would be nice to do one a month and get it worked through, but with everything else I've got, I don't know really when I'd be able to achieve that. So anyway, it's absolutely beautiful, and yeah, go check out, there are new ones now available in the series. While I'm here though, I might just show you the different colours of fabrics. So that's the winter one here, Mirage, and then here with the other 3. So you can just about make them out through the bag, sorry. Okay, the next 2 are mermaids, actual mermaids. This one, there were a group of us that started this one. It's called Red Mermaid by RTO. It looks like this. I'll pop in a picture because there's so much glare on this. I can't really show it to you properly. It was really good to do it with a group actually, because a lot of people started at different places, and so it was really interesting to see what it looked like at different parts of the pattern that you haven't quite got to yet. So I started, I don't know where I started, but this is where I am, and I've worked through the whole of that top kind of section. Have I? Yeah, yes. This isn't stitched. I don't think this is just background. Background with a few mini stitches. There is some back stitch to come, which I'm going to do all at the end. Very, very cool. There's half stitches, There are some fractional stitches. It looks a little bit strange, some of this, but until the back stitches in, that sometimes things do. The colours are absolutely beautiful. And the effect is just stunning. So yeah, she is one that, she does come out in May for Mermania. Probably not as much as she should, but yeah, definitely check this one out, she's beautiful. Next up is Mermaid's Folly by Courtney Collection, and this one I saw Kelly Animal Instinct stitching this one and just thought it was absolutely beautiful. So I ordered the pattern. You can get it as a paper form. It's really interesting. So this is what it looks like in full, and I'm doing the whole piece, the whole of this. So you can see here the mermaid, what's he called? He's actually called Old Man, so I'll come on to that in a minute. And then the dragon. And what's really interesting in this one is you can stitch them separately, and they give you all of the different patterns. So you've got Old Man on his own, Old Man and Mermaid, Mermaid and Dragon, and then Dragon. And they're actually all available in the pack together. I'm stitching this one on 40 count Murky by Picture This Plus, and stitching this one in hand. One colour for the whole thing is 337 DMC 3371. So I've just done the whole kind of strip from the top to the bottom, going all the way down. Sorry, I'll try and get it to focus on her. And it's really interesting because it's the negative space that we're stitching. So that on its own won't, it doesn't look like it much, but when she's all stitched up and you can see her with everything else, you can see where she is. So yeah, her tail is just starting to come in at the bottom there. It's so cool. It absolutely tiny. As you can see, this is 40 count. You can kind of see stripes in her hair there. Sorry, I know I'm holding it at an angle. That's because when I stitch in hand, I will stitch with the sewing method. So my needle doesn't ever go to the back, it always stays on the top. So I will go in the top of the stitch, in the bottom of the stitch. There'll be lots of better descriptions and tutorials of how to do that, but my needle stays on the top, and I do one leg in one movement and the next leg in the next movement. But when I get to that end, so I stitch 10 stitches, I can't do it going back with the same way. I probably should train my left hand to stitch that way, but I can't. So I actually turn the whole piece upside down, and then I stitch the next row the same sewing method in the same direction, but because the piece is upside down, I'm moving back. So occasionally you can see the kind of the stripes going through because I am stitching the same way upside down. I think it would be fine in framing, and sometimes it gives a bit of content, a bit of kind of character to it, so it's not just a block. It might look like something slightly more wavy, but it works for me and I don't mind it. Next up is Sleeping Princess by Mirabilia. It's going to look like this. So I'm now really surprised at how much I've done of this one. This one is a paper pattern, and I really struggle with paper patterns now where it's on more than one page. I couldn't get it into Pattern Keeper. I could get it into a PDF reader, so I'm manually kind of highlighting the colours that, highlighting the symbols that I've stitched. But what I really struggle with is where the pages cross. It's just extra work for me to think about. So what I decided to do was follow the page divides in the 4 pages of the pattern and stitch those so that that's all done. So I've essentially stitched, originally I'd essentially stitched across in the middle, and then I just had to follow one page at a time. So that was the hard bit. It was making sure that that matched up with the page above it, making sure I'm marking off the same bits so that it does not get confusing. But essentially I've stitched the page divides. So now I've just got 4 pages to go and stitch normally without having to think about that now. So I feel like I've done the hard work. This is 32 count Cafe Ole. I think I would have got this from Lakeside Needlecraft. This is where I am. So quite a chunk done. You can see down here that bit that kind of continues down. that's the page divide, and then yeah, I filled in some of the bedding there, and the page divide must have been up by her sort of arms. And so yeah, that's all stitched. This has got, I think, metallic threads, maybe beads to go in. What I didn't do was stitch anything above her yet. I'm gonna have to do that later. Yeah, I think, I can't really remember the design off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there's some sort of archway over her, so I'll deal with that later. But yeah, that's where I am so far. It's loads. I'm really impressed with myself. I didn't realise I'd done that much. That's a nice surprise. So next up is Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon is a design by J Parks. So you'll hear there's loads to come by J, and yeah, they're all cats. So they are TV and film characters reimagined as cats. This one is Daryl Dixon, who is a crossbow wielding guy in The Walking Dead. You can see in the background there are some zombie cats chasing him. Very scary. So I'm a massive fan of The Walking Dead, and Kelly and I are both stitching this one whilst watching The Walking Dead. So Kelly lives in Australia, I live here, and yeah, so we watch it and we stitch, and it's loads of fun. This is one I've actually kept out because I was watching Daryl Dixon, who so Daryl Dixon's got his own TV series, which is a spin-off of The Walking Dead. So it's now at season 3. So I only watched it last week, and I was stitching on Daryl Dixon. I think it's currently on a hoop still attached to the Lowry stand. I'll have to go and find it, and I will insert that now. Next up is a piece called Sunny by, I'm looking over there, my notes aren't even over there, this is just how my brain works. Sunny by Leilani Joy, and the kit is by Gecko Rouge. It looks like this. It's so bright, so pretty, I just love it. And stitching this one on 18 count. So the kit comes with the fabric, so I'm stitching this one on 18 count. I will link below, there's a video on YouTube where the artist is actually drawing from scratch the design, so nothing to do with the cross stitch but the actual artwork, and it is absolutely brilliant just to watch how it comes about and what her influences were. I've done 9,000 stitches out of 75, 11.95%. The colours are amazing. This is where I am. No, can't quite reach the bottom, I'm afraid. Absolutely amazing. And there's something about oranges and yellows that I just do not find a chore. They're actually a joy. When I stitched Sunflower Cottage a few years ago, the bottom section was sunflowers, so it was all those kind of colours, and it was just my favourite part of the whole thing. So even though this is just background, lots of kind of block stitching, but then also that kind of, I can't remember what it's called. Is it called dithering? I just love it. It's really, really cool. So I think that's probably a page and 2 pages maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's where I am so far with this one. The next one is Owl Forest Embroidery's Swan Lake, which I cannot find. It's in a box as well, so it can't have gone far. When I find it, I'll pop it in here. Okay, and now starts the 2023 extravaganza of starts with Kelly from Animal Instinct. It was wild. 15 maybe we started. First up is the Witchy Stitches All Treats No Tricks, and it looks like this. And it's a collaboration with Cottage Garden Threads and Fox and Rabbit Designs. Absolutely delightful. The It's a little kit. I was very kindly gifted it from Kelly. A little kit here. Every day is Halloween, and that becomes the floss organizer. Absolutely stunning colours, right up my street. And on the back it's got which number they relate to. It's 28 count. It's quite a fine, close-knit weave. This is where I am. He looks tiny. Whoa, there we go. You can see some variegation in his dungarees there, looking good, and his hat. So that's a lovely start. His shoes. It's so cute. Next is Touch of Magic by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'll pop a picture here. I've picked, again, a really tight-knit fabric. It's definitely 2/2, but I mean, I can barely see the hole. Anyway, that's as far as I've got. Mo. Lovely fabric though, it's going to look great. So yeah, not too much done so far. That's a good one. Next up is Happy Halloween by Love 4 Cross Stitch. So LUV for love and then the number 4. I think I saw this one on possibly Etsy, and it was one that Kelly and I both decided we needed to start. So I found some 32 count fabric, and there's no beads on this one, so it's fine to do it on that kind of count. And I started in the middle. I made a fatal error of stitching something that should have been half stitch, 2 strands half stitch. I did it in full cross. So while she was here last year, she very kindly unpicked it for me and restitched it for me and then stitched a bit more. Absolutely delighted. Thank you so much. This is where I am so far. Just come in a bit. It was so this one's back stitched, as is the hand. And it was the candlesticks that just got me. They look so realistic, and they're not even back stitched yet. They were just so cool. I love them. So that was it for me. I had to, as soon as I saw the candle, it'd be worth buying it just to do the candlesticks on their own, to be honest. But the whole thing is really cool. Yeah, and if I bring it in really close, you should be able to see the background is half stitches. Sorry if it's not really focusing properly. So with Kelly's help, I got out of the ditch of that one, and I'm now on it. Next up is Halloween Parade by the Blue Flower. It looks like this. It's so cute with all the animals in fancy dress costumes. So there's a skeleton outfit, a bee outfit. Look at that dog with a bee outfit. We think this could be a turkey instead of a, I thought it was a peacock for a really long time, but I think now it's a turkey. And then yeah, she's got sort of bones and fish. And this one's being stitched on 32 count Cafe au lait. Became a bit of a favourite. And this is where I am so far. Got that pup nearly done. This one is 1,000 stitches out of 6.8, so I'm 15%. So yeah, another good start on this one. Okay, next up is Blissfully Unaware by Hands On Design. It looked like this. If you are reading this, then you are blissfully unaware of what is creeping up behind you. It's cool. There's some bats there at the top with the moon and some hands, bony hands at the bottom there. I've got a plan for this one. This is where I am. The fabric is not this bright, by the way, it's much darker. So I've got this far. And I've got a bit of a plan. I've redesigned the hands that are coming out of the bottom. I've redesigned them just on, I think I might have even done it on an Excel spreadsheet. I just made all the cells square, like a grid, and then I think probably did it on there. So I've got a plan with this one, and I think that's probably been a bit of a stumbling block, whereas I could stitch the rest of it and then come back to that later. I don't even have to do it if I don't want to. I could just go back to the pattern and use that. But I think mentally it's just one of those now where I've got to think about it. Actually, I've done all the thinking. I just need to do the stitching. But do any of you have that kind of projects that you think are harder than they are for not really much reason? Next up is a Mill Hill kit by, no, next up is a Mill Hill kit, a Buttons and Beads Autumn Series one called Wonders Wands. If you're interested, it's MH141822. It will look like this. Sorry for the glare. It's so cute, and it's got they sell frames that it goes with. And I saw Inga from Stitch had completed this one a while ago, and I just loved it. It's got all the threads that I put on a thread organizer, which I quite like. I'm trying to keep the colour of the thread organizer in theme as well. And I've also got a, I can't remember the name, but it's one of these magnetic frames. I'll pop it below. It begins with a W. Wonderland frames. I'll cut this out if I'm wrong. If I'm correct, I'll leave it in, but I'll link it below anyway. It's a magnetic frame, and they are perfect for mill hills. So you just put the perforated paper between it. Much easier to hold. I really struggle when it's a really thin, just the paper, just to hold it in my hand. There's something about the muscles aren't familiar with that. They're used to holding bigger sort of hoops and big frames and things. So I really struggle, so this is great. And also the threads then don't catch the edge of the perforated paper, which is often quite bumpy. So this is perfect. And also you can just kind of move it halfway. So I like stitching with my hand underneath, and I kind of guide the needle with my hand. And so when I'm right over here, it's annoying. So I think what I did was I moved this just halfway through the frame, and it was fine. It wasn't wobbly, it was absolutely fine. But this is where I am. So I'm stitching all the cross stitches first, and then going back to do the beads afterwards. And so the colours are so cool. I use Pattern Keeper for nearly everything. If it's not that, then it's Zodo or XODO, which is a PDF reader, and you can annotate. So I just highlight the stitches, the symbols that I've done as stitches. But with Pattern Keeper, there's a setting in there where if you double click on a symbol, you can put a kind of parking symbol on it, so it ends up with half, diagonally, the bottom half of the square becomes blue. And I think that's useful for parking, so I don't do parking, so I wouldn't know about that. But I use it to show where there are beads to go, because when I'm stitching, I don't remember all the symbols all the time unless I stitch on something constantly or monogamously. So it's quite good to be able to say half of that symbol is blue, and so it means there's a bead going, so I know I don't have to stitch it now. Otherwise I'm constantly going, oh, what symbol's that? I haven't stitched that, looking at the key. Oh no, it's a bead, I don't need that one, and then kind of losing my way. So yeah, basically everything that's in this pink section, or everything over here that's a bead on my Pattern Keeper, if I can put in a picture I'll show you, because it's probably easier than trying to describe it. Everything here will have a blue square on it, a blue part on it on Pattern Keeper, to show where to stitch next, where there's a bead. That sounded really confusing, but it's really helpful to me. Okay, also Mill Hill kits, in case you aren't aware, come with all the beads, which are not sorted out yet. They come in a couple of bags, or one bag, depending on how many beads you need. And then in the key, it kind of tells you which one's in each bag, so it's quite clear to see. There's a little charm there to go on as well, so it's really cute. They give you everything, beading needle, everything you need to be able to do this. Next up is Poltergeist Pirates by Glendon Place. It will look like this. It's so cool. I bought this kit alongside Emma X Stitching when we were at one of the Ladybird retreats. We bought these from Hawkins Hobbies. Hawkins Hobbies arrives with their shop, and then we both ran in and found these kits. There were some ladies that were stitching Poltergeist Pirates at the retreat, and we both just thought we had to do it. So hello, if you watch, to Shirley, Lynn and Carol. Another person who has stitched this one in full, which you'll be able to see, is Tan, CXC by Tan. Check out her Flosstube and Instagram. I believe there are pictures in there of this. I didn't get to see it framed at the most recent retreat because I had to leave early, but I've seen pictures of it and it looks amazing. This is a massive piece. The kit very luckily came with the treasure braid, and you can see there's some buttons to go on, and the threads. I think Emma and I both went with the same fabric, called Creationist. There's a couple of different ones, different colours schemes, but this is kind of like a grey purple. This is where I am so far. So even from here it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I know I haven't done very much on it. There's a lot of excess fabric here that I kind of pin. I put a hoop in and then I pin it all round, and it's fine. But yes, that's where I am so far. It's massive. There's no other way to describe it, and I think that is a stumbling block on why I haven't stitched on it. It's going to look amazing when it's finished. I would have absolutely nowhere to put this. Now, I don't really care about that. As any of you who have followed me previously will know, I often finish things, I take them off the hoop, I take a picture of them, I look at them for a few minutes, and then I fold them up and I put them in a couple of bags down in some storage, and that's generally where my finishes stay forever, keeping each other company, so I think that's quite important. So I'm not stitching any of these to go on the wall. I'd like some of them to go on the wall, but at the moment that's not why I'm stitching them. I'm stitching them because I enjoy stitching them. But I will say there's absolutely no way that this one would fit on any wall in my house. It's massive. However, it's amazing. So I will get back to this one probably in spooky season. Next up is Rockin' Robins by Bothy Threads. Yes, it's this one. I picked this one up at where was this one? Was it a Floss Friends retreat? Yeah, I think it was a Floss Friends retreat, and I bought this one from Lauren Cross Stitch Bunny, who has an amazing shop both in retreats and then online. So she brings her shop to the retreats. So I'll put the link below. Lauren also sells some amazing fabrics and lots of other patterns and kits and things. So very much go and check out Lauren's shop. She also has a floss tube. It's a kit, so all the threads come with it, and I chose the even weave kit. It's either that way round or it's that way round. I don't know which way. The fabric, you can tell it's theirs. It comes with the kit because it's got these speckles on it, and it's just really cool. So that's where I am. Yes, a start's a start. This one is one of my favourites. So this is Nights by L.A. Williams. Unfortunately, it's discontinued now. It was a Heaven and Earth Designs pattern. I saw this one stitched at the Ladybird retreat, and it had been framed at the retreat, and then it was on the finished table, and I was sat the furthest table away from this finished piece down the other end of the room, and it just caught my eye throughout the entire weekend. It was so metallic and shiny from across the room. I had to have it. I had to buy it. In total, it's 189,525 stitches. I've stitched 1,175, so I am 0.62%. So stitching this one on 25 count, this is where I am so far. Yes. And I've stopped here at each point because that's where the next colour comes in. So I've just picked this one starting colour and just stitched all the way across. And then also Emma X Stitching had a really good idea of just tracing down here the stitches, and then you just know that it's just fill-in, then you don't have to count all the way along, all the way back, especially on 25 count. So I've just stitched down here. Have I only done half? Yeah, I've only done half the stitch, and then so it's just fill-in. But the piece, I just loved it. It's absolutely massive. So this is one of those ones where I want it finished, I want it stitched. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it, but this is the tip of the iceberg in terms of pieces around this size. So we've now reached 2024. This is my New Year, New Start for 2024. It's called The Raining Loreleis by Forbidden Fibre Co. Cool. The Gilmore Girls related piece. And some of you who are familiar with that will probably recognise some of this and some of the things they say and where they are and stuff. I don't know how I'll get myself into this, but I think it's this way around. There you go. Whee! So I have stitched 261 stitches out of 4,700, and that is, what is that, 5.55%. I think I'm stitching this one in hand. It's not that big, and in hand for me that's even quicker. Even if it's a tiny count, I just put my readers on, get a really good light, and I just whiz away. So this actually wouldn't take very long to do. They're special threads with special names, like that one's called I'm All In. I love it. Look at this one. Came with it. Look at it. Cool. Oh, I might keep that one out. So next up is one of my absolute unicorn patterns, which I don't know what it is about it, but I absolutely loved it. I saw Michelle from Mama Loves You GB stitching this one and was just lucky enough to find this one on the secondary market. So this is And To All a Good Night by Blackbird Designs. It looks like this. So I'm stitching this one on, just looking for the name, Lakeside Needlecraft Misty View 28 count even weave. This is, so I don't know how well this will show up, but it's blue at the top and green at the bottom, and I kind of put it this way so that it would look eventually like the grass around the bottom of the house, and kind of grey blue at the top because it's kind of dusky. So it's an experiment. If it doesn't work and I don't really like it, then I'll restitch it on something else, but at the moment this is where I am. You can't really see the colour. I mean, you can see it's green and a bit blue, but it doesn't really accurately show the real colour. But this is where I am so far. There's actually a couple of kind of specialty stitches to come in this bit, which I didn't realise when I bought it. Hopefully it'll work. That's the plan. Ripley's inspecting how many whips we have left. This is whip number 31. So if you're still here, pop a B emoji below, so I know you made it to halfway. Yes, so this is B by Lorna Lane, and it's a Gecko Rouge kit. Looks like this. So I originally saw this one stitched by Morgan and Kelly, and they both, I think, did it on slightly different counts, and it didn't matter, it was just absolutely stunning. I started it at some point, and I can't remember when, because my restart is the 2024 one. So I originally started it on 18 count at the top kind of left corner and did this. And there was something about it, again, just wasn't really feeling it, didn't feel motivated to pick it up. I wasn't that happy about the kind of pixelated view of it. I don't know, again, just get a feeling, don't you? So restarted it 2024, 25 count, so much better. So I've mentioned already, Emma and I have, Emma X Stitching, have sales every month of the year, and in 2025 this year we've just finished a year-long stitch along where we've done a part per month, but normally we have kind of themed months. So October is Spooky Stitching or Owl Forest October, November is Nautical November, May is Mermania, January tends to be Salathon, so we pick up any old stitch-alongs that we haven't quite got where we want to get with them and stitch on them in the month of January and see where we can go. And so in 2024 we chose June, July and August to stitch on B or another B pattern for those 3 months. I started in the middle this time, and so much better for me. And this is where I got to. And I stitched on it, I think, I can't remember if I did it in the 3 months or maybe I did it in the last 2 months. I honestly can't really remember. But yeah, this is solid 310. Well, I'm assuming it's 310. With the kits you don't actually see the DMC colours, but I'm pretty sure it's 310. And then it kind of feathers out with grey here. So these wings are pretty, there are lots of colour changes, so lots to do in those. So it was a nice kind of balance between a bit of block stitching and then some quite heavy colour changes. Absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. And I'm really glad that I went back and restarted that one. I wouldn't have been happy with it on the original. I think it's the fabric. So I think it's probably a lesson for me that if I'm not enjoying something, it's okay to stop working on that, and if you have the means to do so, restart it on something different. I think it's okay to do that. So there's a couple that I think I'll never go back to them, but actually if they were on 40 count or 32 count and I could stitch in hand and stitch them up quickly, I probably would, because I love the designs. So there's nothing here that I don't like the design of anymore. It's just the feeling of stitching on it. So probably something I'll think about next year, especially doing this WIP Parade, watching it back while I'm editing it and having a think about, actually, am I ever going to pick that up again? Would I pick it up if it was on a different fabric? It's something to think about. So yes, maybe I need to take my own advice. So I was in a bit of a restart vibe, and I restarted Winter Peace. I will pop a picture, or I'll pop a picture in and I'll put in probably a clip of what I've done so far, but just to say that this was an exclusive design from Gecko Rouge. It's by Lorna Lane. The artwork's by Lorna Lane, the kit is by Gecko Rouge, and this was before I'd really sort of discovered Gecko Rouge. This had been one of their Christmas boxes, so they have mystery boxes. And I just fell in love with the design. I was able to find this one then on the secondary market, so I'm stitching this one from the kit. Next up is a design by the Witchy Stitcher. This is called Vampire. Oh, I love it so much. I absolutely love this one so much. This one comes with, I think, without the moon as well, the pattern with or without the moon. I can't really remember, but yeah, it's so cool. I'm stitching this one on black 18 count Ada. It is so, it's like solid. Look, it's absolutely solid. So it's here. So this is where I am so far. I love it so much. This actually isn't that, it's not because I think because I love it and because it's kind of light colours at the moment, it's not that difficult to stitch on. Black Ada or any sort of black fabric is always a bit tricky for me, so this is actually fine. Sorry if you can hear my phone going off. Yeah, this is where I am. It's really cool. This is one that needs a big gothic black frame, I think, that I'll chuck this one in. But yeah, I love it. There you go. Treat you to see the back as well. Next up is my Chatelaine design called Versailles. Some of you will be absolutely sick of me talking about this one if you've been watching my other videos. This is by, so the design is by Chatelaine, and I'm stitching this one on 28 count, probably an antique white even weave. There are many videos. Basically, with the Chatelaine design I had first, it was called Evening in the Park, and that was very clearly a workshop piece. So every sort of round in the pattern was an individual part of the design that you would stitch one bit at a time and gradually work your way around, out and around. Versailles that I'm doing now is not. It's one full piece split into 4, and I've kind of mapped out where I want to go next, and I'm just working my way through. This one was started on 18th of July 2024. My plan is to finish this one by the middle of July 2026. So that would be 2 years on my chatelaine. Evening in the Park took me something like 6 months, 5 days, but I went hell for leather with it. It was just my favourite thing in the world. So I stitched predominantly on that one, but with other things as well. With Versailles, it very much goes away for 3 months at a time. So I do want to get back onto it. I've got my next one ready to go, and I'm just kind of working my way through it. That's my plan. My next one is called Cowboy Cats by Creative Accents. It will look like this. How cool is that? First National Bank in the background. Look at them. Oh my god, I love their faces. Oh, that's so cool. I picked this one up at the Ladybird Retreat on the D-stash table, and this is where I am so far. I found some kind of old worldy kind of fabric. I don't know what it is. This is where I got to. This is without backstitch, so at the moment he looks like he's got a bit of a wild moustache, but eventually it'll all make sense. I mean, look at his character already, just like that. I've managed to get this one into, have I got it into Pattern Keeper? It's either in Pattern Keeper but not searchable, or it's just on the PDF reader, and then I just have to mark things off. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's looking pretty good. Okay, the next one was going to be a gift for a specific time, but it just took so much longer than I thought it was going to take. It's one of those, you look at it, you think, oh yeah, that won't take long to stitch. It's a lot of stitching. So it's Peacock, what's it called? Peacock Pincushion by Cottage Garden Samplings. So it will look like this. There's instructions inside of how to make it into a pincushion. So it might not look like it would take very long, but this took me ages. And then I realised that the green section and the bits of the tail are repeated multiple times, and it will take me ages. So I decided not to go hell for leather and give it as a gift. I just thought, actually, when the time comes, that person can have it. Whoops. Next up is Jurassic Perk by Silver Creek Samplers. Yes, and at the time of stitching, at the time of writing this on my list, I'd done 508 stitches. So another stitch along that Emma and I do every year is Dinosaur December, or Dinosaur December Sal, and that's every December of every year. So I'll either start something dinosaur related, or I will pick up something that I have. So at the moment it's Jurassic Perk. And I started this one on the 28th of December 2024, and I'm currently stitching on it now, so I will pop in a clip now. Next up is Lady with a Secret. This is by Christy from Christy's Corner Needlework. Christy is one of my favourite floss tubers, and I just absolutely love everything about her and her channel and what she stitches, and her job is fascinating. I just love it. So please go and check out her channel. She also designs many patterns, many different kinds of things. One particular series that she does and designs are marginalia, so medieval marginalia. So from medieval manuscripts, they would have drawn poignant designs, little designs and artworks in the margins of books as annotations and as kind of thoughts on the piece maybe, and Christy works them up into patterns and then has them as designs in her shop. I've done a couple of these so far, so Nuns Harvesting Phalluses, Butt Trumpet, Keeping It Clean, and I think I didn't want to edit too much in this video, but I hopefully have just put those photos in because they're awesome. The one currently I'm stitching is Lady with a Secret. I say currently stitching, I'm afraid I haven't done too much on this one. I generally, when Christy says, here's my new one, this is going to come out soon, I then panic stitch the one that I haven't yet finished, but I have kept up with them all in order. Kelly is also stitching these with me. They're just so cool, I just love them. This is where I am so far. Yeah, it's a small amount. It could also be upside down, can't remember. So yeah, quite a lot to do. I've stitched all of these on 40 count with this kind of manuscripty colour, that sort of fabric, so that it kind of looks old. I do plan to eventually frame them all. I had massive plans. I wanted to put like little boards and snippets of what they are below them and things. I don't know if I'll be able to do that now. Eventually I'll frame them all together. It would be really cool. Next up is Fluffy Cats by Owl Forest Embroidery. I haven't got the picture with me, so I'll pop a picture in now. This is, how much have I stitched? I've stitched 181 stitches out of 12,703, so I'm at 1.4%. So this is actually much bigger than it looks, and much bigger than some of the Owl Forest ones that I normally do. I have no idea which way round this is. Actually, yeah, I normally have that on the top right, so it's that way round. And I think I probably started in the middle, maybe. Okay, so next up is Sanctimonia by, the artwork's by Amy Stewart, the design's by Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't have a picture, so again I'll put this one up if I'm not already doing so. This one is 303,000 stitches. I've done 719, 0.24%, and this is on 25 count, I think 1/1. This is where I am so far. Can you find that? Or just about. Let me just put my hand behind it a minute. No, makes no difference. So in case you're wondering, it's here. I absolutely love this design. It just reminds me of kind of the Supernatural TV show, and Dean from the Supernatural, I don't know. So I just love it. I'm just aware that there's so much background before you even get to the main chap. This is a massive one. I mean, there's no question. No question about it. This is a huge design, and yeah, I need to stop now. I'm really looking forward to it. While we're on muscly men from TV shows, this is The Witcher by Thread Geeks. It came as a kit. I'm stitching this one on 18 count white Ada. Currently at 600 stitches out of 90,000, which is 0.75%. I think it might be this way round, but that's kind of his lips, face. I'm not sure. I hope this isn't my thumbnail. Anyway, 18 count, again, absolutely massive. I think I might restart this one on 25 count. I'm just really struggling with the massive pieces of fabric. They're so hard and crunchy. They don't fold up nicely. I don't know, there's something about it on this one. I don't mind the 18 count on some of them, but this one, maybe it's just the fact that it's just a big design and I just want it smaller. I don't know. It's been a big year for new starts. So next up is the Mermaid Marina, which I just call Marina. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was part of a Mermaid box that they did, so a mystery box. Kelly came to stay with me last year. We both had it delivered to my house. So she had one, I had one. We both got it delivered to my house. We opened it together. It was really, really exciting to be able to open these things together in the same room. And in there you get patterns, a kind of sweet treat, some threads, all the threads that are needed with the big pattern. There were a couple of others. This was the main pattern. She is spectacular. Absolutely beautiful. So I can definitely recommend Autumn Lane Stitchery's boxes. I've had a couple of theirs before, I think for Halloween. I had others. I've definitely had 2 of their Halloween boxes. They're so cool. The gifts that you get inside, they're amazing. Worth the wait, worth it. This particular big pattern then comes with the treasure braid to go with them, the beads to go with them, all the floss, which are absolutely amazing, amazing colours. It comes with the fabric, which is this opalescent blue. So this is where I am. The colours, they're not really doing it justice. This is like a dark blue. You see that there? It's a darker blue than up here. It's because I've got the lights on. But this is what I've done so far. You can see there's some metallic thread in the purple. Look how sparkly it is. It's so cool. I've seen a couple of people have finished this already. I just love it. I feel like I've got quite a few mermaids, and May isn't enough to just stitch them all in and expect big progress. So I think last year I decided to do something like Mermaid Monday and thought, oh, on Mondays I'll stitch on a mermaid and that'll get me through. But I think, I know the Dark Queen of the Sea isn't a mermaid, but I class her in this, and I think I'd like to finish her because she's the oldest one sort of that nature, and then this one would be the kind of next, they're kind of similar, or at least they come across similar to me. So yeah, I need to do something to kind of work on them all. I want to work on everything, don't we all? Next up is Books Are Magic by Counting Puddles. It's going to look like this. And what you can't necessarily tell from here is that there are these kind of big stitches, sort of slight specialty stitches, or back stitch really. Probably some metallic threads, I'm not sure. Is there? Can't remember. But yeah, back here the colour combination is amazing. This is where I am so far. A small start. The only reason that I have dragged my feet on this one is because I do not have the floss in with the pattern. So it just purely means I have to go and get some floss. I haven't kitted it up properly. That's the only reason why I haven't actually stitched on this one more. I've got a couple like that, so I think maybe in the new year I'll kind of pick them out and kit them up properly, and then they're just easy to stitch on. Next up is my second Mill Hill kit that I've currently got in my whips. Have I only got those two? I think it's only those two. This is called Old Fashioned. This is in the Spring Bouquet collection, and if you're interested, it's MH182514. So here's this one. This one, I just love this one. Cherry, orange, whiskey. It's just delightful. Another one of these frames that I picked up in one of the cross stitch shops in Wales, Nimble Thimble and Create Nostalgia. Emma, Kelly and myself, I'm too close to the camera, all went to the cross stitch shops last December, and I picked up one of these. And I think this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on, but probably not explaining myself properly, is that yes, this piece of perforated paper could fit the normal portrait way, but because I wanted to get I wanted to stitch close, it would have ended up being kind of too close to the border. So again, it's awkward for my hand to hold things sort of really close. So what I've done is I've moved it across so that now I can hold it in the way I normally hold things and sort of have my hand resting on the back. So it just works out for me. So yeah, this is not wobbly, it's really good. So I find it better to stitch like that. Obviously I've just finished what I was doing and left it exactly like that. It is magnetic as well, so you can get this, use that bit as a needle minder. But yes, this is my Old Fashioned. So when Kelly was here last year, we went to London. We went on New Year's Eve, but we got back home. So we left London at around 5 or 6 o'clock and missed the hordes of people watching the fireworks and jamming all of the trains and undergrounds. So we did very well sightseeing for the day and then came home. Neither of us could particularly walk very well. We'd done so many, I think that's the most steps I've ever done in a day. And the next day was just, luckily it was New Year's Day. We decided we wanted a kit to commemorate our trip there. So we went with this one. This is London by Luca S. It's a full kit. You can see this background there. Very cool. It comes with these. Threads are on these windy long bobbins. Came with some 18 count, which I have started. Now, we started this together on a call. I will admit I have not progressed this. This is my start. Again, I really hope this isn't my thumbnail. Can you imagine? Where is it? There you go. This is something like, let me look, 49 stitches out of 56,000, 0.09%. So yeah, it was a start that we got to do together. So hopefully we'll stitch on this more this coming year. So next up is Spooky House. It's by Sandra Parlow, and the company is X's and O's. It will look like this. It is full of backstitch. That moon is Krynic, metallic threads all over the place. I can't remember if it's got blends. I think it's got blends. Absolutely amazing. Morty from Mad Morty is stitching this one as well, and Megan from Megan Poco has stitched an awful lot of this. I was really impressed in her last, most recent Flosstube. She showed it, and I can't wait now to get this looking like hers. So yeah, go and check out their channels because they have great channels and some great stitches. This is where I am so far. Also, just to say, this is started with Kelly. When myself, Kelly and Emma went to the cross stitch shops, we saw this one framed, hanging up. It looked incredible, and we both just decided we must start it. So we bought the pattern, we bought 1 million Krynics. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but I mean, it's a lot. And then we got home and I realised I already had the pattern because I love it so much. I'd already bought it. Just goes to show I really did want it. This is where I am so far. A little start in the middle there. Some metallics already shining in the windows. This is on, we ummed and ahed for ages about what fabric to go for. We've tried to match it with the fabric in the shop. We've eventually gone with Mirage by Picture This Plus, which is the same as the Fox from The Year in the Woods is on, and that seemed to work really well. So yeah, that's my start. But as I say, check out Kelly, Morty and Megan as well, they're all stitching it. Okay, we're at number 47, so we're doing really well. I've done 3 out of 4 of the boxes, so we're getting there. Next up is The Poison Apple by Bella Filipina. It is this one. And this is part of a series of these princesses. So this is Snow White with the apple there. In this one, I think in all of them they have metallic threads, some beads. I don't think there's any specialty stitches, just general cross stitch. Emma and I saw this one stitched up at one of the Ladybird retreats. Absolutely beautiful. So we both found some fabric that are quite similar and we started this one. We are planning on doing them all. There's a lot of them, so I don't know quite when, but we'll get there. Anyway, this is where I am so far now. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, I don't mind this one being my thumbnail. How long should I pause for? Started in the middle in her kind of corset. I moved up, and then when I got to, I just really wanted to do her face. That was really cool. And then her hair just worked all the way down. And then yeah, all of that's kind of done. And then I started going down to her dress, right down to the bottom. The gaps there are probably for beads. Okay, so I then started a kind of start marathon. I had a lot of Gecko Rouge kits that I really wanted to make some start some progress on. So this was my first one. This is Yalvarine. It's by J Parks, and it looks like this. How cool! It just reminds me of my cat, to be honest, with her claws. I mean, she's not that vicious. Also, when my cat, or cats in general, kind of, they catch their whiskers against something, their lip kind of curls up because their whiskers don't bend. They kind of like make their lip move, and so she kind of does that. I mean, not that face, but she kind of does that sort of face with her when her whiskers get caught as well. It's hilarious. So I had to do this one. I also love the colours. I said before, when sunny, I just really love the yellows and the oranges and stuff. So, and the shine the kind of metallic vibe going on from the clothing, but it's not, there's no metallic threads in it. It's just all made out of DMC. I just love it. So yeah, this is this one. So this is another one where I've started on 18 count. I'm really not sure if I like it. And again, it's just the feel of the fabric. That's all it is. It's just the feel of the fabric, and I'm just not sure. I think, yeah, I'm going to revisit some of these, and I haven't done a huge amount on this one, so it is something that I could start again. Yes, I'd have to redo some stitches, but it's not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things. So far, I've done 720 stitches out of 74,000. I'm just shy of 1%, and this is what I've done so far. So it's this corner section here. Because the lights are shining a lot on it, it looks like there's a lot of fabric between it. There isn't really. You can't see it with your eyes. Dark blue and dark red stitches together. It's cool. But like I said, I'm just not 100% sure I want to do it on 18 count. We'll come back to this. Next up is Mermaid by Lorna Lane. This is another Gecko Rouge kit. It's this one. Which is very cool. I started this one with Emma and Kelly. So Kelly started working on the symbol which had the most stitches and did extreme cross country. I decided to copy Kelly, and so I've never done that on a full coverage piece before. And I have, you'll see in a second, I've done the biggest colour, and then I've moved now onto the second colour, and I'm just doing that as well. Emma started near the face. Is the face in the middle? No. So Emma started in the face and has stitched some of that. And actually we all met, so Kelly came back to visit in October, and we all met up at the Floss Friends retreat. I managed to get a picture of all three pieces together, all held up together, so I should be able to put that in now. I've done 5,678 stitches out of 64,000, so I'm at 8.83%. I need to go back a bit. She's cool. Just bring her in. So you should be able to see so on this side it's all dark blue, and that's the first colour that I've done everywhere. And then the second colour that I've picked up is this kind of dark red colour, so you can see the difference between I've completed it on this side and not on this side. I've done bits in her hair. And so she's got two different colours there. It's on 25 count. Really enjoying it. I'm really glad I got a big chunk done. So yeah, it was quick as well to sort of zip around. I had to move the hoop continuously, which was absolutely fine. I think it helps it's on 25 count. This is a really soft fabric that's come in the kit, and also I've been able to move it around a lot because I've been moving the hoop, so it's really soft now. So there's something about this versus the really crunchy 18 count that I'm realising as I'm going through all of my whips today. So my next one is Cat Vengers by J Parks. So this is Cat Vengers, so the Avengers reimagined as cats. This is, I think, my largest piece now. This is 305,000. I've done 3,000, so I'm at 1%. I started this one thinking I wouldn't get too much done, and once I started on it, I just loved it. I mean, bear in mind this is 1.03%, and it was really cool already. So I've done a bit of Captain America. 25 count, 1/1, just bring you really close. This, I just love it. There's a bit of the Hulk there. Oh, I just love it so much. Almost kind of Phantom of the Opera vibes there. So yeah, this is where I'm at, 1% though. So I need a plan. You'll see I've picked up, I mean this is the biggest one I think, but I've picked quite a few massive kits, and I just need a strategy to be able to get some good work on them. So next up is Witcher Cat. Guess what? It's by J Parks, and it is a Gecko Rouge kit, and it's from the TV show The Witcher. Oh my god, look at his friend. Oh my god, look at his face. It's so funny. I just love it. Again, 18 count. I can't talk about it anymore. But I started in the middle. Again, realised how much I hate starting in the middle, so I've worked up, or I haven't worked up. This is like 2 inches. Like there's no, it's nowhere near. I think his face is about to start here. I think this is his kind of shoulder lapel thing. So yeah, not a huge. It's absolutely massive. So not a huge amount done, but again, it's a start. Next up is the Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. It will look like this. Now there are 2 different versions of this one. This is the Specialty Stitches one, and then there's just a plain cross stitch one. A couple of years ago I bought the plain cross stitch one because I hadn't done any specialty stitches, apart from when I sort of stitched stuff when I was a teenager. So this is a new purchase, a start with Kelly from Animal Instinct, and if I bring this in, it's kind of yeah, I bought some dinky dye threads. There's an actual pack that you can buy. I'm stitching this one on a fabric called Slate. The red bit is cross stitches, the first bit of peach is cross stitch, and then this bit are the specialty stitches. Again, it's a good start. I didn't quite make it didn't quite make it to the end, but yeah, I'm glad that Kelly was here to help work through the stitch, because it cuts off at the top, so you don't start with a full stitch. You might start with a partial specialty stitch, and then all of the rest down to the bottom are full ones till the bottom one again. So I needed a bit of help just to even get started on the specialty stitches. I'm sure I'll get used to it and I'll start to understand the instructions a bit more, but yes, thank you Kelly, because I was quite frustrated with this one. Terrible, no reason for it at all either, but I was really grateful for your help, so thank you. So next up is Halloween Night by Durene Jones. This is a design that I saw 1 or 2 years ago in a Flosstube where Morty from Mad Morty and the Brom were walking around kind of talking to everybody and seeing what they were stitching, and somebody was stitching this piece and I loved it. And then last, oh no, we're still in 2025, earlier on this year, Kelly from Animal Instinct saw this and very kindly kitted it up for us both. So when she came over to stay in October, we both started it together, and it is just absolutely amazing. Kelly has shown her progress in her most recent Flosstube. Definitely go and check it out if you want to see this. She's stitched so much more than me. Interestingly, she hasn't done the head, which is the bit I think I mainly started with. This is what it'll look like. It's so cool. The fabric is blue, and then this purple bit here is kind of half stitches, just to give some different effect. It's really cute. This is expertly laminated, by the way. It's really cute. And wait till you see it. Look at the cat, look at his neck, it's tiny. And the shoes, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. There was something about this one, I was trying to explain it, when it's just the right pattern, threads, fabric, count, feel, and what you want to stitch on at the same time, and everything kind of works together. Sorry, loads of reminders have just gone off. When everything works together, you end up with something you just can't put down, and this was it for me for quite a while. So I'm at 17%, and it's really cool. I started in the middle, which was in his body, and then I went up and did his head. I haven't done any backstitch yet. Look at his little face. And then yeah, I did the basket, and then I came down and did the cat. And I'm just going to scrunch up the fabric a second just to pull it apart. There you go, now you can see his neck properly. Oh, it's so cool. And yeah, these purple stitches are half stitches, if you can see that properly. And then I've worked on this green section on one side, and then it's a lot, I won't lie. I've got to do the other section. So that's where I am. Sorry, it's all crinkled up, it's been in a hoop, you can see at the bottom the hoop mark. That's where I am at the moment. It's so cool. The fabric's darker than that, It looks pretty grey, but it's bluey grey. But yeah, I just love it. Next up is Stitch Together. This is a piece by Tiny Modernist. Kelly, myself and Emma, when we were at the cross stitch shops in Wales, we saw this one and thought it'd be a really good one to do as a kind of almost like a round robin. So, well, exactly like a round robin. So the plan originally was for us to stitch kind of a third of it each, send it round to each other, and then stitch the next one. So you end up stitching the whole thing, but only a third of it is on yours, and you stitched two other sections on other people's. So I thought that'd be we all thought that'd be a really cool thing to do. When we started it at the Floss Friends retreat, we realised actually it's quite a chunky piece, so it might take many years to get round to us all stitching it and passing it on. So what we decided instead was just to start it together, stitch on a bit of each other's, maybe a bit of the wording, and then at least we've put some stitches in each other's, which is really cool. So this is the design. Jess also had this pattern, so she started with us, which was really cool. So I think again I had to leave early from that retreat, so I think the only person's piece I haven't stitched on is Jess's. I don't actually have this piece here. It must be somewhere downstairs, so when I find it I'll put in a clip or a photo now. We can do this. We've got 3 left. This is Night Guide Cat by Fine Frog Stitching. I saw this at the Ladybird retreat. Who was selling this? This would have been Rachel Talking Dog Stitchery and the Talking Dog Stitcher on YouTube and Instagram. And so as soon as I saw this, I just loved it. It's this one. Now this kind of reminded me of, it's called Night Guide Cat, and for those of you who have cats or are familiar with them, often they chaperone you to between rooms. So to the bathroom, for example. So my cat will chaperone me to the bathroom in the night, or just walk with me to the kitchen. So it just kind of, I don't know, I just loved it. There was also a Nintendo Wii game called Twilight Princess, which is part of the Zelda world, and there was a kind of a character that followed the main character around Link. I think it's called Midna, and I don't know why, I just have they just both remind me of kind of Midna and my cat chaperoning me to the bathroom. So I wanted to stitch this one, and so I picked some fabric which is the same Creationist purple fabric. Here we go. This is what the Poltergeist Pirates piece is on. So I had just an offcut of that because I bought, in order to get, doesn't matter. This is where I am so far. So you can see the nose and the mouth, and then some bits and pieces underneath. So yeah, this is 32 count, 2 over 2, and that is Night Guide Cat. So the penultimate whip in my whip parade today is Me Outlander. This is again from J Parks, kit by Gecko Rouge, and this is from Outlander Reimagined. Oh, I just love it so much. It's Jamie and Claire and the stones. What I find fascinating about this one is how realistic and like a photo the trees look in the background with the sky. I just absolutely find it amazing. The mock-up looks incredible. I mean, this is essentially the mock-up, but yeah, on Pattern Keeper it just looks amazing. I started this one on 25 count. It's not quite as soft. It's not quite as soft yet. I haven't moved it around enough. I started top left on this one. Really enjoying it. Absolutely tiny stitches, 25 count. Let's just bring you in. There we go. And you can just about now make out some branches and some sky. For a while it was just a blur. But yeah, I can sort of see bits and pieces now. I've done 1,030 stitches out of 101,000, so I'm at 1.02%, and I love it. I love this one so much. So the last one, everybody, this is my 57th whip. What I'm going to do after this is just show you a UFO and my planned massive start for 2026, but this is the last WIP now. So if you've made it, thank you so much. You've done a really good job. This is Nom exclamation mark by RTO, so the same company that did Red Mermaid, and it just makes me chuckle. This is a lovely gift from Kelly, who, when she came to stay, we started this one together. It's hilarious. This is on 16 count Ada. Yep, again, start is a start. 16 count Ada, and it's going to be so cool. Oh, I just absolutely love it. This is 63 stitches, would you believe? Apparently. That's what I've written down anyway. And so that was my last start, and that was the 26th of October. So I'm not planning any other starts for the rest of the year. I'm not gonna try and get to 60, which a few of you seem to think I should do by the end of the year. I do have one planned start. Okay, so my UFO, unfortunately, I think is going to be the Blackwater Sirens Sal by Bella Filipina. I'll pop in a picture because I don't actually have one. I've just got the key and some other stuff printed out, so I don't actually have a picture. So I'll pop that up now. This is, so I'm going to show you the first part put up, and you can see the outline of the design, and then I'll put in the last part picture so that you can see what they look like. Okay, I don't want to go too far in it, but there was a little bit of controversy because the first picture shows the rock that the sirens are resting upon is greyed out, and so kind of everyone assumed that it was part of the design and that the rock would be kind of coloured in and stitched later on. And then when the last piece of the pattern was released, the rock isn't stitched, so the bits where they're kind of resting are part of the design, and as you'll see, the inside isn't stitched. So that wasn't really explained. Well, it was a mystery, so people kept asking, but unfortunately it wasn't explained in time. So I was a little bit disappointed. Other people aren't, and they've gone ahead and stitched it and they love it, and that's great, and I still love the design, but I think of the fabric that I've chosen, it won't work for me. And it's a big design, big old piece of fabric that I've got here, and I don't really at this point in time want to continue working on it. Maybe if I leave it for another year I might pick it up again, I don't know, because I love the piece, I love the sirens, and I love the feel of it. It's great, but I just know that on this fabric it just won't quite look right. So I've picked an absolutely gigantic piece of fabric, and I've stitched the first part, which is the kind of treasure chest. This is the treasure chest with all the beads. It's really sparkly, absolutely beautiful. If I just do that, you should be able to see the amount of beads on there, all different shapes and sizes, really shiny, absolutely beautiful. At the moment this is not part of my WIPs. I'm not going to stitch on it. Okay, and then so the last one I just wanted to tell you about was a definite start. This will probably be my New Year New Start. This is the Accolade. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. For those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you would have seen that I finished something called Meeting on the Turret Stairs a couple of years ago. I got it framed in a huge frame, absolutely amazing. I think I did an actual special video to it. I'm probably trying to put a picture on the screen now. The story for that one, which you'll find in the video that I'll link below, is quite a kind of sad ending. They don't really have a happy ending together. And with the Accolade, even though it's a completely different time frame, country, story, for me it just reminds me of those two, if there was a happy ending, and if the guy came home and she was ruling everywhere and they ended up happy together. So I really want to start this one. I've bought some 25 count fabric, so I'm going to do 1/1 full crosses. I've got, so I've actually gone with the max colour version. I don't think I've gone with a max colour version before. 189 colours. It's something like 339,000 stitches. I haven't gone out and bought them all. That would be a huge amount of money. What I've done is look at everything over something like 1,000 stitches. I've bought a skein, but some of the colours are so max colour, there's only 5 stitches in the whole of that piece in that colour. So I was able to collate a master set of DMC over 18 months, which was part of a Lakeside Needlecraft kind of, what's it called, like a thread club. So every month for 18 months I would pay £20, something along those lines, and I would get 25 DMCs. So I've managed to accumulate now a full master set of DMC, and part of me hates using it because it just looks so pretty in a box all on bobbins, but also it's there to be used. I can't just sit on it. So anything that's under 1,000 stitches in the whole piece I'm just going to use in the master set, and then I have bought the threads for the other ones. Now interestingly, when I finished Meeting on the Turret Stairs, I was stitching that one, and at the time I was only stitching on that one. So all my spends for cross stitch for 2.5 years went on that. So I bought endless amounts of skeins of thread because I didn't know how much I needed. Didn't have pattern keeper, so I did it all on paper charts, so you'd never know how many threads you had left. If I was running out of something, I just went and bought it again. But I ended up terrible. I ended up with 48 skeins over when I finished Meeting on the Turret Stairs, and they've been popped away in my kind of overflow DMC drawers for the whole time. When did I finish that? Can't remember. So when I was kitting up the Accolade, I made a list of the threads that I did need, and then I went to my overflow and I was able to cross off a huge amount of them because I already had them. So even though when I finished Meeting on the Turret Stairs I thought, oh, I've got 48 skeins of things that I'll never use again, actually a lot of them are in this piece. So I think that's another reason to stitch it, and another reason why these two pieces are connected in my head. So yeah, I'm very excited. I kind of worked out, oh, how many stitches would it take if I did it in 2.5 years? Because I did the Meeting on the Turret Stairs one within 2.5 years, but a good 6 months off in the middle of that when I didn't stitch on anything at all. I think I picked up crochet. And again, I was monogamous back then, so it was one craft or the other. Unlike now, I don't remember the time frame that I picked, but it was something like 700 stitches a day. I don't have a plan for it. The bit that I'm struggling with is that I have, as you've seen, picked up in the last year quite a few big, mainly cat related, full coverages, and I'm kind of really struggling on working out how to stitch on what and when. I thought maybe if it's 1,000 stitches I could try and get to 5% every time I pick it up. If it's a kind of 300,000 piece like Sanctimonia or Knights, I think, I can't really remember now, or Cat Vengers, maybe I try to get to 1%, and that's enough, you know. And then I thought maybe I've got 57 whips, I could try and do a whip a week and work on some things, and I'm sure I might finish some smaller pieces. Or rotation wise, do I stitch a full coverage for the week? I also, because I want to finish Versailles, do I stitch on that at the weekends? I have no idea yet what my plans are, and it's a struggle when you get to 57 whips to work out what's best to do. There are some here that I really want to stitch on now and stitch on in the next week, but there are some that I know I don't mind if I don't see them again for a year or whatever. They're not priority. If you have strategies, whether you've got 57 whips or much less or much more, what could you tell me what your strategies are, and maybe pop a comment below. I'm really rubbish at replying to comments, I apologise, but I do read them all. That is my New Year's resolution. There's a couple. Sometimes I do very well with New Year's resolutions, so that's one of them. But yeah, what's your strategy for kind of rotating, I guess? And do you have big projects and small projects that you finish little ones and you make steady progress over others, or do you pick a particular month and you just think, right, I'm going to work on that, that's my focus piece for the whole month, and see some progress that way? I'd be really interested to see what you kind of do and how you work that out, and yeah, maybe over the next couple of weeks I'll have a think about it. I've got my new start to do, and plenty of other things. So that, everybody, is it. I've been doing this and setting up all the gear beforehand now for 4 hours. So we made it through 57 whips. Thank you very much. If you've got to this point, please could you put a cocktail emoji? So you had one for halfway through, and then yeah, if you wouldn't mind popping a cocktail emoji down here, that will remind me to stitch on my old-fashioned piece. Thank you very much for joining me. All the people I mentioned and my whips are going to be listed below in the description box. I'm over on Instagram. Please feel free to send me a message, leave a comment in the section below. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you did want to support my channel in a different way, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-fi, K-O-F-I link below. That will take you through to the page. And hopefully I will see you next year with some progress and something slightly more regular. So thank you again, happy stitching, happy new year. Bye everybody.